Okay, I want to talk about something that I have nicknamed kindergarten theology. Right? We hear this term armchair theologian. Right? You know, some guy sitting in his mom's basement on the computer. You know, telling everybody what they got to believe and what they got to do to be Catholic. Right? These armchair theologians. Well, there's a category of theologian that is even way worse than the armchair theologian. And I don't know what to call it other than kindergarten theology, because it's about the IQ level of a 5-year-old. All right. So I'm going to give just a few examples here. All right. Um, I see these kind of things all the time. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. Uh, Kindergarten theologian makes a meme for the internet, right? Puts this big giant headline: Pope Francis rejects the Trinity. Okay, on one column of this meme, it has this quote from Pope Francis. On the other column has a dogmatic definition of the Trinity from the Catholic Church. All right, and the headline is Pope Francis rejects the Trinity. Like, these two statements are in contradiction. Okay, and so I'm like, what the heck is this, right? So I'm reading this thing, and the quote from Pope Francis says something about God spray. I can't remember the exact quote word for word. Something about, there's God spray, or some deal like God's a vague idea up in the clouds. Okay, but they footnoted where they got the quote from. All right, so I followed that footnote to that document where they pulled that quote from, and I read the entire context of that statement. Okay, and what did I find there? Well, Pope Francis was giving a teaching. Okay, he said this. He said, God is not some vague idea up in the clouds. Okay, this God doesn't exist. Okay, God is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. God is real. Therefore, there is no God spray. There is only the Father, the God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay? He said, therefore, when you pray, you're praying to a real God. All right? And I'm paraphrasing, I'm summarizing this statement from him. Obviously, he didn't say it in, exactly the words I'm putting it, but that was the substance of what he was saying there. Okay, so this kindergarten theologian, he went in there and he pulled out a little couple sentences out of that context and portrayed Pope Francis as teaching that God is a God spray and that God is not the Trinity, right? When in fact, Pope Francis actually was teaching the exact opposite of what this guy accused him of teaching. Okay? That's kindergarten theology right there. So I actually went on this discussion board where this meme was being posted. Okay? And I pointed that out, that I went and I read the entire thing in context. I told them what I had found. I gave a link, said, you guys need to go look at what you're saying here, because what you're doing is you're making up a complete lie about somebody. A complete lie. As bad and as evil and as horrible as you think Pope Francis is, it doesn't justify making up a complete lie about the man and attributing an heretical statement to him when in fact he taught the exact opposite, right? And how did these kindergartners react to me doing that? Well, they reacted by banning me. They kicked me off their discussion group. That's how they reacted. All right. Here's another example of kindergarten theology. There was another meme that was made. I think it's called the pectoral cross. It's the crucifix emblem, okay, that Pope Francis wears, okay? And so there was this picture taken of him with this emblem, and very fuzzy. You could hardly see it in the picture, right? But what you could see is a red circle drawn around it with an arrow pointing to it, right? And then on the other side of the meme was this big blown up giant picture of like a satanic symbol, okay? And look at here, Pope Francis is wearing this satanic emblem, right? Calling it the Good Shepherd or something like that, right? Well, here's this like skull and crossbones, this nasty satanic emblem, right? Well, so look, by this time, I had seen hundreds of these types of things. So, I mean, automatically, I just tend to not believe it, okay? But I decided, I'm going to go look up and see if is this really true. So I found the emblem that he is wearing, and I got a close-up of it, okay? And what I saw there was the Good Shepherd goes after the lost sheep. There was a shepherd with a lamb on his shoulders. Okay, it's the Good Shepherd. You remember the parable that Christ taught in the gospel, how the Good Shepherd goes after the lost sheep? Okay, that's what that emblem was. It was representing the Good Shepherd. Okay, it wasn't a satanic symbol. So I went back to this meme, and you know how you can blow pictures up on your phone, like make them really big? So I blew this thing up as big as I could get it, and as fuzzy as it was, I could still get a little bit of a good enough view of that emblem to recognize, even on that meme, okay, that was the Good Shepherd. Okay, it was not what they said it was. So I go on there and I explain to these people what I found, and that this is just simply, this is not true. This is not right to say this. Like, again, no matter how dirty, rotten you think Pope Francis is, okay, it doesn't justify that type of a slander, false slander. All right? How did they react? Well, they reacted like a bunch of kindergartners. All right. They refused to remove the meme. What did they remove? Well, they removed me. Kicked me off their group. Okay, these those are just two examples, and like I said, I can give 100. Same stuff was done to Benedict, John Paul II, Paul VI, same kind of thing. All right, these are not legitimate arguments, right? Not only that, but they're objectively mortal sins. It's slander, it's calumny, it's detraction. It's not good. It's not good stuff. All right. Another one I saw was they posted a picture with the Pope, counted 33 buttons on his cassock, right? 33 buttons, right? Well, what's 33 mean? Well, there's 33 degrees of Freemasonry. Therefore, that's proof the Pope is a Freemason, right? So now they are publicly accusing the Pope of being a Freemason, spreading this all throughout the internet, okay? they seem to forget that the Catholic Church was started in the year 33, right? Christ died at the age of 33. Maybe that's what the 33 symbolizes. You see what I mean? It's like, it's just one, rash judgment after another. And, a sedevacantist might listen to this and say, yeah, but that's not our arguments, right? That's not how we say he's deposed. Okay. Well, okay, maybe not you. Okay, but your friends, your sedevacantist friends are out there by the hundreds doing this stuff day and night, and there's nobody calling them out for it. Nobody. Okay? Just like this false message of La Salette that's being promoted all over the place. Nobody's calling them out. That message is on the Index of Forbidden Books. Nobody's calling this stuff out. It's like we just decide that they're not the popes and they're evil, and therefore anything to discredit them is good, right? Anything that discredits them is good. The end justifies the means, right? Well, that is not Catholicism. That is absolutely not Catholicism.